join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Can we get a roll call, please?
Blair.
Here.
Candelora.
Here.
DePalma.
Here.
Marshall.
Here.
Stanglin.
Here.
Unruh.
Here.
Rumble.
Here. All right. Looking for a motion to approve the agenda.
We're gonna amend the agenda.
Okay, that's right. So item, what number is that, Roz?
It is G.
G.
It's gonna be amended for policy, for personal and sick leave.
That's right. And then you have that updated motion in front of you as well. Just, it was at your seat when you sat down, just FYI. Okay, so a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
Thank you, Dana.
Second.
Thank you, Tony. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. That brings us into our reports. We have our treasury report, our general ledger report, our designated fund report, and then building report. Jason, you got anything, or you good? Okay. All right. And then recreation report, John?
So we just started last month a golf simulator program, talking to some of the families and the coaches. It's gone off without a hitch. Had a really good turnout for it and everything. So we're very excited about offering these programs, especially to the middle school kids, because it's a tough demographic to get involved. So we're hoping to do more programs like this. So we're very excited about that. And then just about 2 o'clock today, the daddy-daughter dance is officially full. So, and it's still 9 days left of registration. So I don't know if we've ever filled this quickly. So we're really excited about that, but it creates a whole nother little problem. So we got to look at venues and stuff next year, maybe alternate. But we're really excited about the daddy-daughter. And obviously the mother-son too, but I know the sons don't get as excited as his daughters about the dances. So, but we're hoping to get a turnout for that. So, and then Muddy Hawks basketball does wrap up this Saturday. We're excited about that program. It's been going really good. And we had our first Septemberfest meeting, and Bob might talk about that, or Rosalind. So, but that went well. So that's it.
All right, thank you, John. That brings us to the senior center report. Faye?
So we are getting ready for the AARP tax preparation in March. Initially, we started with like 60 some, but since over the past few years, we have been grouped with the Grand Blanc Senior Center. But this year, because we do so many, we are now our own. If you go on the AARP website, we are on there. So this year, they did just contact last week and tell us that now instead of 5 per hour, we can do 6. So we'll have a total, if we fill them all, 93. So in order to do that, in order to check them in, I had to be certified. So 5 videos, training, and security, and 2 tests later, I am now certified to check the people in.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So that's going really well. We actually, out of those 93, only have, I think, as of today, like 15 left.
Wow.
So, and then we're getting ready. I've got the rocking and raking forms for the volunteers and the homeowners. Those are out at all the schools and village offices, township offices, and the senior center and the library. So we got some big events. And then, of course, Secretary of State will be there again on February 27th, I believe it is. And the superintendent will be, the superintendent of schools will be at the senior center this Friday at 12:30 for a soup with the superintendent. It's just so that they can talk about things that are happening at the school and get the community's input. So,
What day is Rockin' and Rakin', do you know?
April 26th.
Okay, thank you.
And that's about it.
Thank you, Faye.
Thank you.
All right, that brings us into our sheriff's report. Greg?
Last year, we responded to 13,166 calls. 11,445 of those were for the township. 1,721 were just within the village. Traffic enforcement, which also includes the Waymaster, we issued a total of 3,185 traffic citations. The Waymaster traffic car wrote 730 citations himself, which were regular civil infractions. But he also wrote 87 commercial tickets. He also handled 64 crash reports alone. I included this year the funds per month that the district court sends to the township for the CMV as well as for the civil infraction tickets. They're included in the report. We wrote 22 appearance tickets, which are tickets in lieu of lodging somebody. This year, 19 drivers were arrested for drunk driving or drug driving. In addition to the regular traffic enforcement, deputies issued or responded to 319 traffic-related crashes. Again, this year, knock on wood, we had 0 fatals in the township. Narcotics enforcement team conducted 4 investigations out here, executed 2 search warrants, arrested 2 individuals, recovered crack cocaine, Pyrex, which is used for methamphetamines, along with methamphetamines. The school liaison fill dates, I was able to utilize the school liaison this year to help alleviate the cost of us having to hire somebody for overtime to fill an 8-hour block. It was during the summer when he was out of school. We used them on 19 different 8-hour shifts, which saves the township almost $12,000 in overtime. The school liaison caseload, he was involved in 237 incidents, with 93 of them being some form of an investigation. They were all incidents where the school specifically asked for assistance on something that they couldn't handle themselves. And I gave a breakdown of the calls for service within each school, and of course the high school was the highest with 125. Crime statistics and the clearance rates, which are the rates that the feds use for their determining safest cities and townships throughout the state. This year, we had 150 of what they call micro-reported criminal offenses in the township. Out of 150 of those incidents, 97 of those resulted in an arrest, and 17 of those were exceptionally cleared, meaning no prosecution was sought. We had, as of a week ago, the highest clearance rate out of all of our substations, with a 76% of all the reported offenses, which was higher than last year's. The village had 25 of those, and out of that 25, 10 of those resulted in an arrest, 11 were exceptionally cleared. And Ortonville also had the highest clearance rates of any of the villages at almost 81%, which is quite high for them. Between the village and the township, we had a total of 175 of those offenses that the feds monitor. 107 out of the 175 were arrests, with 28 of those being exceptionally cleared. So that means out of 175 cases, 135 of those resulted in either an arrest or an exceptional clearance, which is quite high. The average percentage rate was 78.38% for both entities. I think we've been averaging right around 70 to 73 the last few years. So it's very high, which should put us in good standings when they start doing those reports. 2024 showed a decrease in dispatch calls for us this year. We were down a little bit on calls. Our traffic accidents continue to be on the rise. We had 23 more accidents than last year. Our frauds identity theft, wire frauds, along with bad checks continue to hurt our clearance rates because so many of them are impossible to investigate. A lot of time they're scams from other countries as well as other states. Traffic enforcement continues to be a focal point as we try to be visible in most of the areas that we can, especially with areas of concern. We increased the number of tickets from last year by 229 citations. And we also had an arrest or an increase on OWIs and OUID arrests by 10. Home invasions, larcenies, and auto theft are areas of concern where we've had a slight increase this year, especially with stolen cars. Home invasions, knock on wood, the illegal gangs that are here that were migrants that come over, the Chileans and whatnot, seem to be striking in areas like Bloomfield, Rochester Hills, areas where literally there are a lot of $1 million homes. We have made some arrests in those. Knock on wood, it has not been an issue out here. But with that group, you never know where they're going to strike. But it seems to be predominantly those type of areas. Very proud of the staff I have. We've had a continued kind of a revolving door in because of openings and lack of positions being filled. I think in our patrol service division, I think we have 40 road openings right now. So, and I have an opening in afternoons, which means for 5 days a week, I usually have somebody. If it's not one of my guys taking the overtime, it's somebody from another substation. But that's been the nature of the beast for quite a few years now. And then again, with our clearance rates, we were the highest substation as of a week ago. I foresee one other township passing us. But that's kind of been the nature of it the last few years. The 50 additional major crimes this year is a little bit of interest because it's 50 of those major crimes is a significant increase from what we've had. And again, I added the total ticket counts. This came from the 52nd District Court by month. I asked them to do it from January to the end of December, because that's when we do our year-end report. So that shows that last year, just in traffic citations, the township should have been receiving funds in the area of $48,202 back. The CMV totals, not as high as I'd like to see, 11,717 back from the single waymaster tickets. He's the only guy in the township that writes those tickets. And then I also included the Brandon Township clearance rates, our top, what we're at, and the ones that the feds monitor. There are quite a few. And I also included Ortonville's as well, since we do the year report for them the same.
Thanks. Just one question, does the 13,000 calls, does that include all the runs you go on with the fire department?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
I was just curious.
Those numbers are a little bit different here and there. They'll fluctuate from time to time because anytime that we have a citizen contact, the computer automatically generates a number that's called a call for service number. And it can go up or down either way. I mean, technically, we're supposed to take a number anytime somebody shows up at the substation, which is being within the village. We'll always have the numbers up a little bit higher.
Gotcha.
That's where usually the change comes. But we were down on calls this year compared to last year as a whole.
Okay. Thanks. Anybody else have anything? Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you for everything.
Chief, fire department report, year-end report.
So you have the report in front of you. I'll just go over the highlights on it real quick. So it was the second highest total for our history of the fire department. We had 15 and 58 alarms. Of that, 62%, or 969 alarms, is medical. Everything falls in those other categories. Our top 3 destinations, it seems, for hospital transports is St. Joe's is number 1, Clarkston, McLaren is number 2, and Health Park up in Genesis, Grand Blanc is the other. Other than that, you can see some highlights on the side. I do want to just let the board know that the tanker, we ordered a tanker and engine, if you remember, back in '22. We're going down, when I say we, the assistant chief, Captain Starr and myself are flying down next Tuesday. We're going to go over the final details of it, and the assistant chief and I are going to be driving it home, hopefully starting by Wednesday morning. So we'll see how long it takes. We have to go to Louisiana. Previously, it was a much shorter trip and a much nicer trip. We would go to Pennsylvania, nice little town, remind you of Ortonville. It was beautiful. It was very comfortable, very similar climate. So Louisiana's going to be fun.
When's Mardi Gras?
That's not that week.
Kind of convenient, don't you think? Kind of convenient to go down to February.
You know, if you use your lights and siren, you'll get here quicker.
Somebody already mentioned that, and I said we can't do that because I might have to call Greg to get out of jail. But I do want to, just on a side note, I do want to thank the Sheriff's Department for their help with our backing us up on medical calls, and again, the horse event that we had where we had the 2 horses in the pond. We work really, really well together with our deputies and likewise. And while we may give each other a bunch of grief, I don't think there's anything our guys or their guys would do to help either out. So again, I just appreciate them. I just want them to know that.
Great. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
All right, trustee reports. Scott, you got anything tonight?
Nope.
Steve?
No, sir.
Bob?
We just had, as John had said, we had a Septemberfest meeting. That was it.
All right. Tony?
Nope.
Okay. Dana?
Okay, so tax collection's coming along. We've collected approximately 86% of our taxes. And I just wanted to, again, state that winter taxes are due on February 14th, which is a week from this Friday. And Fridays, we are closed at 12, but the treasurer's office is going to stay open until 5 for any of those who are last-minute payers. And then, as of then, February 15th, interest does get added onto the winter taxes if you haven't paid, but you do have then until February 28th to pay them here at the township before they go delinquent on March 1st to Oakland County. February 28th is a Friday also, and the treasurer's office will stay open until 5 again on the 28th. 2025 dog licenses are available. Information is on the website. We have 1-year and 3-year licenses. I did go to Oakland County in January a couple weeks ago to start learning about settlement, to settle out the taxes, and starting to work on gathering the information for the treasurer's office for the audit. And otherwise, my subcommittees didn't have any meetings.
All right. Thank you. Rosalind?
Good evening. Thank you for attending the board meeting for Brandon Township. Following up from the discussion in our January board meeting, the police millage runs through 2026, not 2028. I just wanted to kind of let everyone know. On January 13th, I did attend a regional transit meeting regarding Section 5310 for fiscal year 2025 through 2026 for calls to projects. And then on the 14th, I did attend the Brandon Groveland Youth Assistance meeting at the library. The clerk's office has a contract ready for the CDBG contract for program year 2024 to be signed by MacArthur and myself, as the funds are now, they have been released. Also on the 14th, I did attend the Main Street America Accreditation Annual Evaluation for the DDA. This was an opportunity to highlight the village's vision and support the district's revitalization and the Main Street program. We also had a specialized service meeting for the application process that we'll have in our board packet later during this meeting. I did attend a chart chat with the Treasury on accounting and auditing and the measuring for local government fiscal health. Brandon Township has received reimbursements for the early voting grant in the amount of $4,545. We also received another reimbursement from the Community Development Block Grant in the amount of $10,691. This was for the fire department Knox boxes. And then I did attend the Septemberfest meeting where they discussed ideas for the upcoming Septemberfest. And I just kind of wanted to add on to John's report regarding Ski Club. It's been going amazing as usual. Allison and Janet are very well organized, and they've done a phenomenal job at running the program. I have witnessed their hearts pour out into this program by making sure that the kids are always taken care of. They're, coordinating whether these kids are going to be riding the bus home or the parents are going to be picking them up, and other things that come in between. And that's a lot of kids. There's a lot of kids in ski club. So I just wanted to kind of say thank you to Janet and Allison for all that they do for the ski program and that they've done for the past 12 years. And this is the last one. Rocking and Raking is scheduled for April 26th. So if you're interested in volunteering or having your yard cleaned, you can pick up applications at the clerk's office, or you can go online to brandontownship.us and you can find an application under the link for the senior center.
All right, thank you, Rosalind. Just for me, I just remind everybody we are participating in Oakland County's No-Haz program this year. The dates and locations are not yet determined. Brandon Township residents can participate at any of the locations with a $20 fee, and then the township pays the rest of it. It costs about $125 a car, so residents pay $20 of that. The township pays the rest, and you will be able to register for that on the No-Haz website once it's updated for 2025. They still have the 2024 information on there. And then also assessment change notices will be going out in the next couple of weeks, so if you're looking for those with bated breath, they'll be coming soon. All right, and that brings us into our correspondence. The only correspondence we have are the cleanup statistics from our cleanup day. So 2024, we had 163 people at the 2 cleanup days in the park, and then we had 51 at the CMI location. And then just the history going back to 2010 since the program was started. All right, and that brings us to citizens' comments. Are there any comments of citizens on any agenda items? See none. No discussion. Brings us into our consent agenda. We have the regular meeting minutes of January 6, 2025. Regular bills in the amount of $12,494.59, and prepays in the amount of $1,292,078.44. So we need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Steve. Any questions on that? All right, can we get a roll call, please, Cindy?
Stengman,
Yes.
Unruh,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Candeloro,
Yes.
De Palma,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes. Motion carries. No unfinished business. Brings us right into our new business. Item A is the second reading for the animal classification. And remember, this was just to clarify allowing these animals in all residential classification areas as long as they have the 2.5 acres. So this is just the second reading.
I'll make the motion to adopt the second reading, the amendments to section 46-205 and section 46-288 in the Code of Ordinance for the Township of Brandon, Oakland County, Michigan, as presented.
Second.
It's 282,
282.
Yeah, I think you said 288.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Okay. 282.
282. Okay.
I heard 282.
Did you? No, okay, maybe I heard you wrong. All right. So you're making the motion as presented?
I'm making the motion as presented.
Okay, thank you. All right. Can we get a roll call, please?
Unruh,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Candeloro,
Yes.
De Palma,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Stengman,
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes. Motion carries. All right, that brings us to the next one, which is our new hire for facilities manager position that we've been working on for a couple years. With the new 2025 budget, we did provide funds for that to maintain our township properties, which will be able to get us out of a lot of the contracts that we had for maintaining township properties and facilities. We did post this position in the Citizen and on our website. We received 4 applications. After we reviewed those, we did interview all 4 candidates. Myself, John, Jason, and Stacy interviewed them, and all 4 of us are unanimously recommending that we hire Dave Gabbard as the facility manager beginning February 4th, which is tomorrow, at the budgeted salary of $60,000 and wages to be paid from 101-265-702-000. And then the motion is there too.
I'll make the motion to hire Dave Gabbard as the facilities manager at the starting salary of $60,000.
I will second that.
All right, any additional questions? Seeing none, can we get a roll call, please?
Blair,
Yes.
Candeloro,
Yes.
De Palma,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Stengman,
Yes.
Unruh,
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes, motion carries, and Dave is here. so
Congratulations.
Welcome, Dave.
Congratulations.
All right, and that brings us next to our resolution regarding permit and inspection, or no, it doesn't. Yes, it does. Sorry, I read it wrong on the agenda. It does bring us to the resolution regarding permit and inspection fees. Jason, do you want to come up?
Basically, Stacy and Pam did some research, called surrounding communities, the state of Michigan, to see where our fees rate with everybody else, and they're low. So we went through and we adjusted them to be within our neighboring communities, so it's not too far out of step and not under budgeted like we had been. And then also we're giving our inspectors a little bit of a raise, so all the fees cover all them costs and doesn't cost the township any extra money. That's all we're really asking to do.
In the fees that we were charging, just so you guys know, for like ZBA and stuff, was not even covering the cost that it cost us to have those meetings.
Yeah,
So
we
that's
were a
another
couple
reason.
$100 shy on every meeting.
Right,
just
we
in
were
our
losing
costs,
money every
so-
time we had one of those meetings.
I see that with $1,000 for the planning commission, we were charging $350.
Right.
Right.
I mean, we were giving away stuff. I get it.
So that's why it's here. So.
That's why it's here.
We're not trying to make money off of
No.
it. We're just trying to
No,
break
just cover the
even,
fees.
cover the fees and stuff, so.
So the suggestion motion's there, if anybody would like to make that.
I'll go ahead and make the suggested motion to approve the resolution regarding permit fees and adjust the 2025 wage schedule for inspector wages as presented.
Thank you. Somebody want to second that?
Second. Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Scott. All right, any additional questions? Okay, Cindy, can we get a roll call, please?
Candelora,
Yes.
De Palma,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Stengman,
Yes.
Unruh,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes, motion carries. All right, and then, let me get to the next part here. All right, and that brings us to, we're looking to local government approval for off-premises tasting room license. Bidder,
Before we go any further on that, I think there might be somebody on the board that probably needs to
Abstain.
abstain
Yeah.
from it.
I'm gonna make
yes,
the mo-
but that is up to him, not us.
Yeah, I'm gonna make
He has
that
to make that
motion.
motion.
Okay?
So I want to, for D, I'd like, make a motion to abstain from, D,
From voting on it?
from voting on it.
I will second that.
Okay, Scott. All right. Ross. All right. So any questions on that?
Just why are you abstaining?
So we have, because this is that, this application is for my property
There you go.
that I'm,
Got it.
Yep. All right, so a yes vote here allows Scott to not vote on the motion. Okay, so, all right, can we get a roll call, please?
Palma,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Stengman,
yes.
Unruh,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Candelora,
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes. Okay. Now that we have that out of the way, Bitter Thomas Manufacturing LLC is a company that has a liquor license, and they are asking to have local government approval for an off-premises tasting room license. So occasionally, they will go to the property and host an event, and then that way the event has a liquor license with the MLCC. So that's what this is asking for. It's not to give a liquor license to that property. It's owned by a different company that just allows them to have special events where they can sell liquor legally.
This is special use, probably single day permit through the LLC, right?
Yeah, through that company.
Got it.
Yep.
Not a
But it
permanent
doesn't, but it
thing.
doesn't specify single day, it just says occasional, which is my concern. There's nothing specific, it just says occasional, so that could be the flip of the coin.
Yep, so whenever they have an event. I don't know when their events are.
I think that's a different of a license, though. It's sort of a special use, though, if I remember the LLC. I don't know if Lieutenant knows more. I can't, I'm off. I've been out of it a little too far. There's specific licenses for that.
There is, and anything out, for any event, such as September Fest, that liquor license is brought to me to sign off on, and then it goes to the state for approval after I've approved it. If I deny it as it stands, it doesn't go to the state, so I guess I'm just wondering, is that permit gonna come to me?
That's what I was.
This one
think.
only asks for local government approval. It doesn't ask for the
Ask
sheriff's
for the
department.
local clerk.
Yeah, this is Rachel. It's her. She's the one on behalf of this, so.
I've been doing liquor licenses for a lot of years, and even for other townships, and normally that comes to the sheriff department for
So they
approval.
already have a liquor
liquor
license.
license.
This is just to
Yeah.
do a tasting room. It's not another license.
Okay.
It's where they're gonna use, like, they already have their liquor license, so then it's where they're going to use it at. So it's giving a permit to allow it to be used at that
Yes.
location.
That makes sense,
Yeah,
for sure. Okay,
So it's not an actual license.
okay.
thanks. All right, is there any other questions?
Is there anything else Rachel wanted to say?
Rachel, do you want to say anything?
No, I think you handled it.
Okay.
I just wanna make sure.
All right, so we're looking for somebody to make the motion. All right,
I'll make the motion to approve the local government approval for off-premise tasting room license for Bitter Towns Manufacturing LLC to occasionally operate at 2370 Granger Road.
okay, thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Tony. All right, any additional questions? All right, can we get a roll call, please? And Scott does not vote.
Marshall?
No, because it lacks specificity as far as when the event is gonna be.
Unruh?
Yes.
Blair?
Yes.
Candelora?
Yes.
De Palma?
Yes.
Rumble?
Yes. Motion carries. All right, that brings us to our next item, which is the well repair. We've been dealing with this issue for about 5 months now. We've had a lot of testing done through county. And in all of that, we have found out that we actually do have an existing another well on premises. So basically, we're gonna vacate our 2-inch well and go to the 4-inch well that we haven't used for who knows how long. But that has been inspected and we are able to use that, and it has great pressure and it's been tested as well. So I requested bids from all 4 of the local well contractors. I only heard back from 2 of them. So your bids are attached here, or they're at your chair. I did email those to you, but you do have copies of those written out at your seat as well. So we had Mike Malone Inc. His bid was $14,423, and CE Lehman's bid was $8,565. So we're looking for the first motion to approve one of the vendors to do the money, or to do the well, and to pay for it from building maintenance funds. And then the second motion you see, if we pick the loan, it would be the $12,000. If we go with Lehman, we would only need to move $8,000. So we would adjust that second motion depending on which one we choose. But Jason and I did speak with Lehman today, and he said that he is comfortable with his bid at that price to do the work. So he said he did not need to adjust his bid.
I'll make the motion to award the well repair contract to CE Lehman and Son Well Drilling Inc. And pay for this from 101-265-930.000 building maintenance.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you, Dana and Steve. Any additional questions on that? Okay, seeing none, can we get a roll call, please?
England?
Yes.
Unruh?
Yes.
Blair?
Yes.
Candelora?
Yes.
De Palma?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Rumble?
Yes. Motion carries. So for suggestion motion 2, we only need to move $8,000 instead of $12,000 into from 101-000-699 appropriation from designated funds to 101-265-930-000 building maintenance. The reason for that is there's only $5,000 in there right now, so there's not enough to cover the bid. So I'll go ahead and make that motion with the $8,000 instead of 12.
I'll support it.
Thank you. Any additional questions? Okay, can we get a roll call, please?
Unruh?
Yes.
Blair?
Yes.
Candelora?
Yes.
De Palma?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Stingland?
Yes.
Rumble?
Yes. Motion carries. And that brings us to Parks and Recreation. John is here if we have any questions for him. We did approve the master plan at a previous meeting, but we do need a resolution for that meeting. So John has prepared that, I believe, yep, on the back there. So we're just looking to approve this resolution to finalize the Parks and Recreation 5-year master plan.
I'll make the suggested motion to approve the attached resolution adopting the Brandon Ortonville Parks and Recreation Master Plan.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any additional questions on that? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Blair,
Yes.
Candelora,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Stengman,
Yes.
Unruh.
Yes.
Yes, motion carries. And that brings us to some policy updates. Rosalind?
So this, the personal leave and the sick time is coming to the board just for some clarification. So a couple years back, we changed our hours. We went from working 8-hour days until Wednesday, 10.5-hour days, and then Friday, 4 hours. So our policy, was reading, so our policy read from days. It said that they would get, it would go from 3 paid personal days. So we just wanted to clarify, and we're changing that to the 24 hours, which would be what the 3 days would be. We're just changing it to hours instead of days.
Right, so that way if they took off the Friday, it's not using up a whole day, it's only using 4 hours of their 24 hours.
Correct.
But then if they took Wednesday off, then it would be 10.5 instead of 8. So we're just evening it to equal like the work days.
And then with, when we were looking at the whole policy, that's when the sick also came into effect, to where we were giving a day and a half, so we were gonna run into the same situation. So we just changed that to read 12 hours. And then if you look at the accrual through the sick leave, we just, again, changed that to hours, and we're getting away from days just to make the policy consistent.
All right.
I'll make the motion to update the Brandon Township General Employee Benefits Manual, Section 5.1 and Section 5.4 is presented.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Tony. Any additional questions on that? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Candelora,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Stengman,
Yes.
Unruh,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes, motion carries. And that brings us to our Specialized Service Operating Assistance Program contract for fiscal year 2025.
So we've already approved our municipal credits that we receive to run the SMART program at the senior center, which is the transportation. And so this is just a follow-up, approving the specialized service. We're just getting those funds to help offset the cost of our transportation program. And so this is something that we've done every year. So we're just looking for a motion to approve the specialized services for fiscal year 2025.
I'll make the motion to approve the attached fiscal year 2025 specialized services contract with Suburban Mobility Authority and authorize the supervisor to sign it.
Thank you, Steve. I'll go ahead and second that.
I was just, I was like, wait, we need a second.
Bueller.
All right, any additional questions? Okay, seeing none, roll call, please.
DePalma,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Stengman,
Yes.
Unruh,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Candelora,
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes, motion carries. And that brings us to Fire Department. Chief?
All right. So while I only have 2 items left, this next one's going to be kind of lengthy. So let me get all the way through it, and then we can go through and look at each recommended motion. Basically, we have 2 captains, senior captains, that are going to be retiring within the next, we have one that will probably go within the next 30 to 90 days, hopefully. I mean that in a really nice, way.
Is he here?
Isn't that what you told me to say? So,
Is he here?
no, he's not here. Yeah, but I hope he watches this. So anyways, we have, Captain Pappas is looking at retirement, and then Captain Weevil is looking sometime between now and maybe January-ish of next year. So, in order to get our staff trained and get them in so that we're not using people that aren't of the same level, meaning paramedics, just like what we did the last time when we hired 3 people, excuse me, we want to be able to do the same thing. So what we did is we put out internally a hiring post that we were looking to hire a firefighter EMTs, and that they would end up going through the paramedic school, just like what we did the last time. And of that, we had 5 applicants. You'll see the 5 names. The top one was Trevor Fox. The second is Brandon Shudlick. The third is Logan Niebauer. Neibauer. I hope I said that correctly. Fourth was Sean Chesney, and fifth was Kevin Albert. These individuals will still have to go get their paramedic license. Right now, we are working with the same training facility out of Genesee County that we used for the last three, and they're actually looking at being able to get a grant program to cover the cost of their paramedic license. That's why it's imperative that we hire them now. The paramedic program is going to take them about 18 to 20 months, provided everything goes well. So we'd like to get them started as soon as possible. So with that, you'll see that we have a hiring list, and that we want to hire Trevor and we want to hire Brandon under the dates that I had listed. The only thing I want to change when we get to that actual motion is I'd like to be able to hire Trevor Fox well ahead of that, or as soon as possible. He is currently employed at another location, not a fire department, but he would like to give them notice, and depending on how soon that he can leave from there, I'd like to bring him on as soon as possible. So before that March date, probably looking around the 22nd of this month. So anyway, so that's the first one. That's the hiring. Again, the process that we use for that hiring process is we do a written examination, an oral board, and then we do a final interview. For the oral board, we bring in 2 area chiefs along with Assistant Chief Wilton, and we have a battery of questions that are asked of them, and we grade them on their response to those questions. And for the final interview, it was Supervisor Rumble, Assistant Chief Wilton, and myself. And again, we have a series of questions, and we score them as well. So then, that's like the bottom step, right? So that's where we have to bring them in. But we have to fill that captain's position. So then, the captain's position, we did the same thing, all 3 tests. We only had 2 people apply from internal out of 3 candidates that were out of the possibility of promoting for it or testing for it. And the first was Doug Bryce, and the second is Mike Ohlert. And then they both are lieutenants, so that will create lieutenant openings. We had 4 that tested for the lieutenant's position, and the top one was Tim MacArthur, the second was Julie Sherrod, and then David Mojica and Justin Lebec. So those are all of the hiring, the promotions, which is an exciting time in the department. In a lot of different ways. You find out really quick how everybody can be so nice to you. It's amazing. We should be hiring and promoting every day. But no, seriously, they're all really good. We're very fortunate to have the staff that we have to be able to promote from within. So that's very important. The last thing, which is the most important thing, is we're going to need money to do this. We did not account for this in our budget. We were not sure when we were developing the budget if they were going to retire. Everything is looking positive at this point. So what I'd like to do is move $194,000 out of our carry forward into the accounts that are listed to cover wages, healthcare, dental, our retirement program, and the FICA. So you'll see that as that's the number 3 motion. So after I've done my spiel, the last thing you're going to see is the page. What we're going to do with Brandon Shudlick is the wages, is the full-time employees. We're going to add a 40-hour-a-week position, and it's going to be just for him at this point. And he's going to fill in. His typical schedule will be Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. But if there's a vacation that we know about that's been planned or a sickness that we can fill him in, then we're going to work him up to 48 hours a week with 8 hours of overtime. And what that'll do is that'll alleviate overtime cost for our other personnel at a much higher rate. So we can pay him lower. Does that make sense? Not that he's lower quality, I don't want anything like that being misconstrued, but it will help on the budget, so. So with all of that being said, is there any questions on any of this that I can answer? Dana?
For your motion, you said 2/22, that's a Saturday, so would you want it to be 2/24?
I would like it to be 2/22.
Okay.
I would like
wasn't
it to be
sure.
as soon as possible.
Okay.
Only because if his employer comes back and says, hey, you're good, you can leave now, we don't need you to stay the 2 weeks.
Gotcha.
I would like to be able to hire him as soon as possible. So
Okay.
I think if we leave it to hire Trevor Fox as soon as possible with a date agreed upon by the supervisor, however you want to word it,
Okay.
then I can let Jason know, hey, this is what we're going to do, this is when he's available.
That's fine. That's why I was like, oh, that's a Saturday. Would you want to change that date? But
Yeah,
I'm,
but-
I'm okay with the AS.
Because he'll go right
assume-
on, we would put him onto a 24-hour shift.
Right, so I guess we should, like you said, say as soon as he's available.
As soon as
because
he's available would
That way
be,
then, yeah, that way if he does have to do his 2 weeks, but I know sometimes employers don't, you tell them you're leaving and they don't give you 2 weeks, so.
right, they may say, hey, we're good.
Right.
Or they may say, no, you can't leave, and then
So we
he's
could
got a
ju-
different problem.
Maybe as soon as available and then approval by supervisor or chief who, like.
Perfect.
Okay.
So 40 hours for him is not going to clash with the other guys that are working
So he is not going to be
56.
40. Trevor will come on as a 24-hour person. Brandon will not come on, and that's part of it, not until May 5th.
Okay, so that's
And
not
he's going to be a 40-hour person.
and that's not going to clash with anybody working 56?
Nope, nope.
Okay.
Because right now there's a lot of overtime. We have a guy that is off currently on sick leave. And we have one of the individuals, actually Captain Pappas, is taking a bunch of vacation. So this will fill in for that spot, and they will not have the need to cover that spot with overtime, if that makes sense.
So you're looking for the first motion?
I'm looking for the first motion.
All right, so,
With that convoluted discussion that, we came up with, I didn't write the wording down,
I just
so.
put as soon as he's available is what I wrote.
Perfect.
To make the motion.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll go ahead and make the motion to acknowledge and approve the firefighter/EMT hiring list as presented with approval to hire Trevor Fox as soon as he is available with approval by the supervisor in chief and Brandon Shudlick effective May 5th of 2025.
Awesome.
Second it?
Okay. Thank you, Scott. Any additional comments, questions? Okay, can we get a roll call, please, Cindy?
Marshall,
Yes.
Stengman,
Yes.
Unruh,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Candeloro,
Yes.
De Palma. Yes. Rumble.
Yes, motion carries. And then we're looking for motion 2.
I'll make the motion to approve the revised Brandon Fire Department wage scale 2.2.
Second.
Thank you. Any additional comments? Roll call, please.
Stengman,
Yes.
Unruh,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Candeloro,
Yes.
De Palma.
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes. Motion 3.
I'll go ahead and make the motion to acknowledge and approve the captain and lieutenant promotional list as presented with approval to promote the top 2 candidates in each category at a future date based on the actual retirement dates of the current employees.
I'll second.
All right. Any additional comments? Roll call, please.
Unruh,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Candeloro,
Yes.
De Palma,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Stengman,
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes. Motion carries. And motion 4.
I'll make the motion to approve the above requests for budget transfers and budget amendments.
Support.
Thank you. Any additional comments? Roll call, please.
Blair,
Yes.
Candeloro,
Yes.
De Palma,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Stengman,
Yes.
Unruh,
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes. Motion carries. And that brings us to our last item.
Great, thank you. So the last item is we have a 2013 utility truck that we've been talking about for several years that it's at its end of its life cycle for us and for emergency response, and it's time to replace that vehicle. So I was able to obtain the Oakland County Cooperative State bid through Berger Chevrolet, just like we do with the Tahoes. And you see the price there for that. For a 2025 Chevrolet 2500 HD, four-door crew cab, four-wheel drive, the plow package, trailer package, because we also use this vehicle to tow our fire safety trailer. We would also be putting a new plow on it, and putting all the emergency lights, radios, all that kind of stuff that goes in there with that. So, in order to do all that, it's gonna come to a cost not to exceed $82,000. We would need to move some funds from our carry forward. So that's part of that motion, is moving 60 grand from our E&H carry forward. And then to approve the purchase of that pickup for $53,945. Again, that's the state cooperative bid. So I mean, we get really good deals on that. And then to approve emergency lighting and a new plow not to exceed $28,055. And then finally, the last thing is, since the township is going to be having a maintenance department, typically we would take this vehicle and we'd put it up for auction, and we might get somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000 for it. I've talked with Supervisor Rumble, and we've worked out an agreement where the township would be able to take that truck over and the plow and be able to use that for plowing and other uses, and they would mow Station 2 and Station 3.
It would be our backup truck to the new truck that we bought.
And we'd greatly appreciate it.
Does that have the lights and sirens on it too?
It will be taken off before it gets to them. Otherwise, they would be getting to the
See how fast they
properties
can
really
snowplow a
fast.
driveway or something, I was just wondering. Good question, I think.
So do you want this as one motion altogether, or do you want
Yeah.
4 separate ones?
Yeah, however you think we should do it. I wasn't sure on this one, because
I mean, I'm okay the way it is, but
if you're okay with it doing just one and we just do the ands, it's a little lengthy, but
Yeah.
you could just do it as presented.
all right, I'll do the suggested motion as presented.
Support.
Second.
Thank you, Bob. He beat you to it.
He was a firefighter, you know, that's the only reason why I gotta stick together.
Any additional comments? All right, can we get a roll call, please?
Candeloro,
Yes.
De Palma,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Stangen,
Yeah.
Unruh,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes, motion carries. That is the end of our new business. That brings us back to citizens' comments on anything. Any citizens have any comments? Okay, seeing none. Additional board comments? Scott, you got anything?
Nope.
Steve?
No, sir.
Bob?
Nothing.
Tony?
Nope.
Roz? Dana?
I forgot to mention I attended the DDA too, but that's all.
And I do not have anything additional tonight, so we're looking for a motion to adjourn.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Support. Okay. All
I
right.
don't know.
Thanks, Steve.
Unruh.
Got
Did I
you.
beat
Unruh
Steve?
and Bob.
Whatever.
Oh, yeah, yep,
De Palma, right?
yep. All right, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries.